Champions are champions because they master the art of getting back up. Now, no matter what you do or how much you prepare, at some point in your life, you are going to get knocked down. But see, for the legends, champions, warriors, and for the overcomers, no obstacle, no trial, no tribulation, no situation is strong enough to keep them there. Put that loss and defeat behind you. Awaken the giant within you. How you respond right now will define you. Tap into that greatness on the inside of you. They doubt you, so the world will try you. But don't you let anything deny you. Show the world you still have fight in you. Let them all see that champion inside of you. Let them all see that champion inside of you. Each challenge you face is a great big mirror that allows you to see inside yourself. The way you respond to struggle will reveal to the world who you really are. Being a champion isn't just about the doing part. It's about the being part. You gotta become that person.
Happy Tuesday, beautiful people. Forgot to cut this light off. Hold on. Oh. So I don't have that big, bright halo going around about my head. Not that I mind that a halo was around my head. Top of the day, beautiful people. It is Tuesday, October 17, 2023, day 115 of year 5. We're reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is day 1,495. Today we're reading chapter 32 in the book of Fraggle Patty. Starting on page 219. But that's a long chapter. If we get finished with it, we're going to hop over to the Holy Megillah and start chapter 46, which begins on page 601. But we definitely not going to finish that today. So with that being said, Father, we thank you that from your abundance, the universe unfolds gracefully. All right, beautiful people. Look, by the time I come back from vacation next week, Jamil, I'm going to change my intro again. Put somebody else's voice up there. When I went to hit it this morning, I thought about you, your MC Light, and Viola Davis comment yesterday. And I was like, I should just run the regular one that I've been using. When I started doing that, it just got the background music, no voice, just to build up the crescendo of the music. I was like, nope, she going to hear MC Light today. Tiffany, hey cousin, hey girl, hey. Oh, I hit the wrong thing, y'all. I'm sorry. Thought I cut myself out. All right, y'all. Tiffany, greetings, family. Tabitha, top of the day, beloved. She said, Facebook user, hi. The only person that say hi like that is Ray. So I'm going to jump out here on a limb and say hi. But you know what? Maybe you started on Facebook and jumped over to YouTube because I see you down here. So there might be somebody else. So if there's somebody else belay my last, I'm sorry. Make yourself known. But Facebook user, hi. Mom, shalom, shalom. Nazarite and Scene, what's going on, family? Lamb Creator Gang. On the lookout. Came in as we was cutting out yesterday. Top of the day to you. Shalom unto all beloved faithers and beloved. Awaken to the truth with Pam. Top of the day to you. Easy. What's going on? Grand Rising and good night. Just got off and will stay with y'all as long as I can, as long as I'm able. Special shout out to all the empresses in the chat. Use your power wisely. Yes, I agree. Jamil, sister, greetings. You already know what it is. Grand Rising. Kings and Queens Coaching Group. Shalom, shalom. You have 444 subscribers on this channel. Oh, the background channel. I noticed that the other day when I logged in. It's 444 there. And on the main channel, when I looked last, it was 1,444. I was like, that can't be a coincidence. You like it? Well, maybe I'll get some different intros. Maybe I use that same voice, Jamil. It's gonna run you crazy. I think I'm gonna switch to a voice though. I'm gonna switch to the author. Zachary Yahoo, creator only. Shalom, fam. Vortexian whirlwind. My husband says he hears their voices too. Really? See, okay, so I gotta change the voice now. If all y'all hearing a woman's voice when it should be a man's voice, I don't know. I just don't. Even when I first heard it, I'm like, who is this dude? I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna change the voice now. If your husband says sound like a woman's voice, I'm gonna change it. On the lookout, getting it in while on my way to work. All praises. What's it? Right? Yep, it's still 1444. It's crazy, right? All right, y'all. And everybody else is hanging out in the background. Happy Tuesday. So let's get moving. Let's get moving. Page 219 for the book of Fraggle Patty. Chapter 32. And if you use an electronic version, it's chapter XXXII. A masculine woman's voice, though. You know what? I'm gonna change it today. Change intro motivation voice. And I circled it. Yema inquired of Jehovah, and the voice answered him, saying, Go thou from place to place in these heavens, and prove thy power to the ignorant. Power is antecedent in gaining the judgment. After power, wisdom. The fool saith, What canst thou do that I cannot? But when he seeth the power that cometh from my hand, he openeth his ears and eyes. To teach men and angels to unite, how have they not failed on all hands? Mortals have said, It is good to be good, but it is not practicable. They have said, It is wise to be wise, but wisdom runneth in 1,000 roadways, every man for himself. The angels of these regions have said, It is good for us to unite into kingdoms, to have gods and lords, but who can unite us? Shall we sell our liberty to one person? But they will not unite. They dwell in inharmony. Everyone taketh the earnings of another. The profit of one is the injury of others. They are barren of united good. Jehovah said, One kingdom may have many good men and many good women, but be of no good, as a kingdom. I measure not the individuals, but the entire household. I remember this one was going over this the first time we read through. All right. I underlined it. I'm going to highlight it this time. Jehovah said, One kingdom may have many good men and many good women, but be of no good as a kingdom. I measure not the individuals, but the entire household. I judge the virtue of a kingdom by its combined harvest delivered unto my keeping. When a kingdom is aggregating to itself more wisdom and virtue, the amount of its increase is my harvest. When a kingdom cannot retain its own members, it is falling away from me. The uprightness of its few is as nothing in my sight. Ooh, that's a tough pill to swallow. You think you're doing all good and well, but the Creator says, but you're losing people. Peace, family. BC, what's going on? Why does it have to be a man's voice? The speech is great. Just wanted to know if anyone else hears it. They might, you know what? I got some women. I got some bomb women. I'm going to use some women. I said I was going to do like like 30 of them and switch it up, eventually get to 30, maybe 31 of them. And depending on how many days in a month, you either get 30 different voices or 31 different voices. I ain't worked my way up there today yet. I still only got them two by the same one man voice. Derek, shalom, fam. Verse 5, page 219. Jehovah said, One kingdom may have many good men and many good women, but be of no good as a kingdom. I measure not the individuals, but the entire household. I judge the virtue of a kingdom by its combined harvest delivered unto my keeping. When a kingdom is aggregating to itself more wisdom and virtue, the amount of its increase is my harvest. When a kingdom cannot retain its own members, it is falling away from me. The uprightness of its few is as nothing in my sight. The secret power of a kingdom lieth in its capacity to aggregate in my name and obey my commandments. For 100 days, Yima went through the lower heavens, displaying the miracles of the upper heavens and his host, many of whom traveled with him, enlisted pupils, particularly collecting the spirits of young children. In 100 days, he had many millions of spirits, abracadabras, mostly helpless wanderers. With these, he repaired to Ashtaroth and he made ready to found his kingdom. So, just real quick, let's go over this. Go to the glossary real quick and remember what abracadabra and abracadabra is. I remember some channels making fun of that without really knowing. Okay. And on the first page of the glossary, on page 769, is abracadabra. Abracadabra. Abracadabra was a monotonous prayer set in the form of a triangle of short, disconnected sentences, so arranged that it was without beginning or ending, which a person might repeat over and over to induce sleep or trance. Persons who practiced casting themselves in trance by this method were called abracadabras. See Book of Fragapati. This exactly is giving us the reference. The Book of Fragapati, chapter 32, verse 7. And I'll read it again. So they collected spirits, infants, abracadabras, or those who sat around constantly trying to cast themselves into a trance. Right? Okay, I'll read the verse over. Let me go back. Starts on page 219 at the bottom. For 100 days, Yima went through the lower heavens, displaying the miracles of the upper heavens, and his host, many of whom traveled with him, enlisted pupils, particularly collecting the spirits of young children. And in 100 days, he had many millions of spirits, abracadabras, mostly helpless wanderers. With these, he repaired to Ashtaroth, and he made ready to found his kingdom. Jehovah spake to him, saying, Fear not, my son, because of the helplessness of thy subjects. He who would start a new kingdom is wise in choosing none who have hobbies of their own. Whosoever goeth forth in my name, I will be with him. That's not only good spiritual sense, that's good business sense as well. Because if you get some people that's it depends. It depends. You get people that's full of themselves and aren't teachable, aren't pliable, and aren't willing to learn the ways of your business. And they come in like, I already know how to do this because we did it like this before at this other company. They ain't going to be no good for you. You might as well go ahead and let them go early, because they're going to constantly cause a ruckus and not follow the protocol of your company. It's wise to see those things early. With these he repaired to Ashtaroth. He made ready to found his kingdom. Jehovah spake to him, saying, Fear not, my son, because of the helplessness of thy subjects. He who would start a new kingdom is wise in choosing none who have hobbies of their own. Whosoever goeth forth in my name, I will be with him. Yima inquired of Jehovah who should be appointed assistant God, and the voice answered, Thule. So Yima appointed Thule, and he made Habal chief marshal of the capital. Again, the voice of Jehovah came to Yima, saying, Thou shalt appoint unto Shem 100 lords, and they shall have dominion over mortals. Hear thou the voice of thy creator. Through my son Zarathustra will I establish temples to my lords and gods, and thou shalt so provide thy heavenly kingdom that thy lords shall inhabit the temples, communing with the rabbis who shall be called Gadirs, but the communion betwixt spirits and mortals shall be known only to the Gadirs and the sub-priests under them. But mortals shall be left to believe that these fathers have attained to spirit communion by great purity and wisdom. Likewise, when Druhas manifest to mortals, it shall not be countenanced. It shall not be countenanced, but as a mark of evil raised up against truth. And when thou hast established thy kingdom, thou shalt cut off the supplies of the Druhas, so that they will become borrowers from thy people. In this manner, they will in time consent to labor. Yima then appointed 100 lords who became as the roots of the tree of heaven. The Aoshuan lords were Ithwa, Yastas, Micros, Ju, Zarust, Ham, Peoris, Vediv, Neasha, Cope, and Duran. And after Duran, it's reference number 33, and 33 at the bottom says Cope, Duran, Usac, Kudaye, and Thrakton. We'll go back up, verse 15. The Thetasis lords were Kavre, Tusht, Yang, Amesh, Amesha, Armate, Wavy, Vahos, Vastavia, and Comac. The general lords were called Ashem with voice, that is to say, Ashem Vohu, lords in chief, given for the kingdoms of the sun in the land of Shem. They were Shenota, Zetheus, Mutu, Aurori, Keishas, Saturye, Shekeah, Theratim, Gana, To, Ber, Shekeh. After Shekeah is reference number 34, and it says Shekeah again, but it has a H in the spelling of it. Harbar Sheye, Pates Goma, Hayues, Hakdot, Anarana, Tibalatan, Kevar. I'm just screwing the names up, and I'm gonna just keep reading like I'm right, y'all. So I'm gonna keep going. Daranasha, Horus, Maids Yeshimo, Runas, Gea Mortishiki, Ba Ahara, Zaruth, Zartushta, K Bowich, Wichito, Binyas, and Captima. And Yima made these 25 lords controllers of the voids with mortals to take the place of Samati after the death of the ascension of Zarathustra, for which reason they were called the Ashem Vohu. The lords of farmers and herdsmen were Gomoa, Hashag, Tamur, Jamshed, Frieden, Minocharabani, and Hus. The lords of seafaring men were Thetas, Merjan, Neas, Kaftaras, Thetiva, Agreft, Ardos Lord, Tanafar, Avoitas, Margina Shitakata, Hokats Tenyana, and Vartuan. The lordesses of births and mothers, the Hochachi, were Kaviti, Wehuts, Haud, Anna Chorhate, Juveas, Wisata, Hapene, Sitid, Nervchow, Avi Pohu, Ka, Han, Hukurova, Dion, Bakwak, and Gamosi. The lords of buildings were Ithrama, Hurichatharanaka, Hadas, Hutu, Koi Gaga, Hira, Wati, Vivi Sion, Muta Haga, Keois, Maceo, Ames, Hudu, Travusivi, Vera Kapagaga, and Sui. The lords of timekeeping, Aches, who had dominion of the change of the watch, were Kaparatatras, Veti Mohu, and Hawatachakwak. Jehovah spake to Yima, saying, in this day will I bless thy labor, because mortals have ceased to believe in immortality, they have shut off their intercourse with Druhas. For this reason, thou shalt establish pure communion with thy lords and none other. Yima sent his lords to their several places, And every lord took with him 1,000 attendant angels. Yima said to them before they departed, "See to it, O lords, in your several places, stir the people up, and wherever you find kings or queens or generals surrounded by spirits that urge them on in their affairs, cut off those spirits, leaving the mortals destitute of inspiration, and their kingdoms and armies will become disorganized and helpless. And whenever Samati and Zarathustra come to a city, go ye also laboring with them." And at the beginning of this sentence, it says, "and whenever," after whenever is reference number 35. 35 at the bottom says, "whenever the mortals, Samati and Zarathustra." So I'll read the whole verse again. I didn't even finish the verse, but we're going to start it over. "And whenever Samati and Zarathustra come to a city, go ye also, laboring with them. And when Zarathustra holdeth up his hand and saith, O Father, light of thy light, gather ye the substance around about, and shield him with a wall of fire. And if Zarathustra say, O Father Ormazd, give thy children food, then ye shall cast down from the air above fish and fruit. And if a king or captain raise a hand against Zarathustra, gather ye about him and shield him. And if a man draw a sword against Zarathustra, catch ye the blade and break it into pieces. Jehovah spake to Yima, saying, The time will come when the present mortal kingdoms will fall, but the followers of Zarathustra, who will succeed under the Zarathustrian law, shall be protected, even as ye during dawn protect Zarathustra. For which reason thy lords shall raise up other lords to take their places after the ascent of this dawn. And it shall come to pass that all light and all truth and all success shall come to mortals through the priest or rabbis, who shall succeed Zarathustra. But as for kings of great cities who will not accept my light, they shall go down in darkness, and their kingdoms shall fall to pieces. Yima, having established his lords, now turned his attention to the heavenly kingdoms of Hades." And that is the end of chapter 32. So let's hop over here real quick for a few minutes to the secret Nazarite scroll. You know what? I thought about that right when it passed through my lips. The fish part never made sense. Some of those names sound like drinks. They do, don't they? But I thought about it. So remember, bonjour, what's going on, fam? Audrey, hey girl, hey, shalom, family, she said. So remember, I forget which part it is, but remember when what is it? The sacred little people. When they were teaching the Drooks or trying to bring them up, trying to raise them spiritually, they were still meat eaters, right? So that's why I kind of figured this was likening to. They were probably the ones who got fish were probably still meat eaters and haven't fully transition over to a plant-based diet. Just like when somebody passes away, if they were used to eating meat here, they're going to subsist for a while on the aromas and the essences of meat foods, which is why the angels or the messengers or whoever was assigned to them that was already fully born spirit, when they let them go get it themselves, they attach themselves and became fetals and bloodsuckers, not bloodsuckers, but y'all get what I'm saying. They just attach themselves to the earthly realm, which is why it changed and said, you keep them away from the earth and you go get those things that they can subsist. Yeah, Ehuans, thank you. Thank you. The Ehuans. Ehuans, one of them. I was getting them mixed up. I think it was the Ehins that are the sacred little people. The Ehuans, I don't know, but it's one of them. The sacred little, that's why I just said the sacred little people. They were, even though they subsisted on the essences of plant-based foods and aromas, until the ones who ate flesh and got it all out of their system, until they got it all out of their system, they still kind of needed that. So, which is why I didn't really make a big deal about it. I just figured it was that same type of thing, Jamil. Which is why they cashed down fish and fruit, because there was some people there in the crowd that was still eating meat, consuming meat. So that's why I left it alone. That's why I assume. But if I'm wrong and somebody else knows something different, y'all let a sister know, right? We help sharpen one another. in the lower book, they're going to drop fish from the sky. If you know they eating fishes against the creator, why would you do that? Meat eaters are not. It's wrong. I agree. But you also, I mean, you make a good point, and I said that. But until, I think it's just like, it's like trying to get somebody the truth that ain't ready for it. I get what you're saying. These people are alive though and can be changed. Right. It comes down to that, really, right? So you kind of meet them where they are, but you don't give them so much to gorge themselves on where they never turn to see the light of day. You have to kind of meet them where they are and just raise them up, right? That's why I look at it. It's like infants. Look, even though infants come out completely plant-based, right? They only drink the milk of their mothers, and we could kind of keep with that train of thought and thinking, because their little systems come out most of the time. If there was nothing that happened medically while they were in the womb, you can raise them from the time they enter into this realm. Matter of fact, before they enter into this realm, because you can become completely plant-based and all they will ever have known is plants, and they will be fully ready to live that lifestyle for the rest of their life. There are a lot of people, some people, they got YouTube channels. You get some ignorant people down there in the comments, oh my God, they're gonna be malnourished. I said that wrong. It's gonna be malnutrition, abuse, and all that stuff. And a lot of times the people that's saying that is people that still eat meat and they don't really understand. Now, you do have some stories where people who go plant-based and stuff, they end up dying for some reason. And then like, see, I told you that vegan lifestyle, plant-based lifestyle is dangerous. Don't do it. But what they fail to realize is these people probably already had something going on in their body. Just like somebody heard somebody yesterday, plant-based, and did a long fast on, he did a mono fruit fast, but when he came off, he didn't understand how to properly, even if you're eating fruits, he didn't understand how to properly break a fast for a long period of time. And I think he did like 100 days. It was a Caucasian dude. And what's the first thing he ate when he decided to break his mono fruit fast? A potato. He ate a potato and it shocked his system and the man died. I'm like, all this time, like people do stuff like that. If you don't break it the appropriate way, it can sound scary, but it just takes a little bit of education on the body and how it operates, and I'm not a medical doctor. Oh shoot, I forgot my banner. I'm not a medical doctor, right? You should seek out professional doctors who understands the holistic lifestyle and a plant-based lifestyle and is truly educated, not just in drugs, right? They should be educated in plants and herbs and actually understand the body and what it does and how the body reacts and heals. And if you do fast on certain things, how to transition it. If you want to expand your diet or whatever you want to call it, your lifestyle, you should be knowledgeable of those things before you start giving advice. But yeah, that's what I thought it was, because they was probably already on that. That's why they allowed it, But for real, Creator don't be making a big deal out of it. He's like, let them see it to the end. If you can raise them up higher, raise them up higher. So as I've read through, reading through a WASP and reading through the amount of this of what we've read through already, I just decided to chill out on people, right? If they're gonna make the choice to still eat meat, even though it bothers me at times and my nose and senses, I can remove myself, right? It's better to remove myself, keep the peace, and just going about life. And in other ways, I just let my light shine in the world, right? Yeah, that was crazy. While potato after a fast will drop your sugar levels like a big boulder. Yeah, whatever it did, it took him out of here into the next world where he was fully born spirit. They was probably waiting for him. Now, how you doing? Did you enjoy that potato? Yeah, so come on over here. St. Michael, show John. It's not funny. It's not funny, but hey, it is what it is. Shayla, hey, cousin, hey, guy, hey. All right, look, okay, let's read a little bit of this. I only got a few minutes. We'll probably only read like a page. Okay, so chapter 46. on page 601. The initiates of Shemesh and Shemaiah joined the green wizards in the orchard. After the meeting of the green wizards in the orchard at Gan Shalom, the wizards called the wedding guests who were not yet green wizards to join them in the circle. Perry the Maggid, or the great teacher, teacher of teachers, right? Perry the Maggid said to the new guests, "This is your opportunity to ask questions of the assembled green wizards of the white rose. Yohanan and Migdana, being new green wizards, may likewise ask questions of the assembled elders. We will honor the two new green wizards by inviting them to ask the first questions. Yohanan and Migdana, ask whatever questions you like." Yohanan, new initiate of the White Rose, said, "When Yeshua and Miriam initiated me into the green wizards at a campsite on our way from Halajah Ford to Cana, behold, I was given the first book of the green wizards of the White Rose. That book instructs me to keep a journal titled Experiments in Magical Living. The book instructs me to try certain experiments and describe the results in this journal. One of those experiments is to let a piece of fallen wood from a tree choose to become my staff of power. Another is to let a smaller length of wood choose to become my wand." And after wand is reference number 1, and one at the bottom says the Nazarene word for wand is makel, Maqqel. Verse 11, my question, how will the wood indicate that it has chosen me? Perry the Maggid and Rose the Yaira looked at each other and chuckled good-naturedly. Rose said to Perry, Well, Yohanan has just shared esoteric green wizard information with the not yet initiated, including the title of the book the new green wizard receives." Playfully, Rose asked Perry, "Should we give him a spanking?" Perry again chuckled and said, "I'm sure all is perfect. After all, Rose, I did invite him to ask any question he liked. He must have liked that one." Rose laughed and said, loud enough for all to hear, "This old man has grown soft in the years since I sat in his class as a young student. Truly, you all have it much easier than we did." Everyone, young and old, laughed merrily. Perry said to the assembled in the orchard, Yohanan has asked a question about staffs and wands. He asked, "How can we know when a particular branch of fallen wood has chosen to be our staff or wand?" My answer is as follows. As you walk through the forest, look at the fallen limbs of wood. A number of limbs will appear to be appropriate for staff or wand. Of those that appear appropriate, listen to each. When each one speaks to you, you will know. This just reminds me, because my kids are always outside looking for fallen pieces of wood. And Isaiah and Josiah have like a piece of wood. They said, "Look at this. This looks amazing. What kind of tree this fell from?" I said, "It probably fell from the tree right there where you picked it up from, under." He said, "I'm going to keep this. Can I bring it in the house? As long as I don't see it through my house." I don't know why kids burn rocks and sticks and stuff in the house. And as you get older and you find rocks in your house, it's like, oh, it must be one of the kids. No, I'm like, why is this rock in my house? Take it, chuck it out the front door. Nowadays, it's just like another toy. Leave it alone. It belongs to one of the kids. Okay, it is what it is. As you walk through the forest, look at the fallen limbs of wood. A number of limbs will appear to be appropriate for staff or wand. Of those that appear appropriate, listen to each. When one speaks to you, you will know. Rose added, the same is true when you gather herbs for the cauldron, feathers for ritual, sacred stones, or other objects for whatever white magic purpose. Be silent and let the right herb, feather, stone, or branch speak to you. Migdana, who had been initiated into the green wizards at the same time as Yohanan, asked the next question. She said, "Miriam, I have heard you say that we are all co-creators with Jaja and Elohim. What do you mean by that? I think I know the answer, but I want to record it for posterity. And perhaps you have an answer beyond that of my own, for how can I be certain without asking? Miriam replied, you are a spirit in a body, mind, and ever-changing series of environments in the great ocean of vibrations. I like that. I like that, how she started it off. Listen. Hold on, I missed a bunch of comments. Hold on, let me pause real quick and I'm gonna go back to that. Oh, you did that too? Whew, mother. I'm sure that was a while ago. She said, ask me how I know, talking about the potato. Oh, I never knew a potato has that negative effect on a person after a fast. Yeah, shucks, even when you're not fasting, when you eat a lot of potatoes, with me, since I've been plant-based, and even more so recently as I'm adjusting, because my goal is to absolutely go, I ain't gonna say 100% raw, but I'm gonna get as close to it as possible. And I just learned yesterday that there are, you gotta go look it up. There are some classes of beans that are not lentils. They're how can I say it? They're considered a fruit, but they're like a bean fruit, if that makes sense. I'm gonna have to get it. I'm gonna show it to y'all. So I was listening to Yaki, and he was going over some of those things. I was like, oh, shoot. I'm like, well, if people knew this, they wouldn't just think like fruits and veggies, raw. If they understood that there were actually some classes of beans that were considered fruits, some different things that actually fall into that. But you have to kind of get into a little bit of the history of why they started classifying, or the U.S. started classifying certain foods as other types of foods. They were trying to get around, they were trying to avoid paying taxes on things, and they just never changed it back, So if people could see the wide variety of fruits and things that are available, and some of the beans that you can sprout, all of this stuff, it wouldn't seem so far-fetched that you can live life fully raw, right? But essentially, that's my goal. Before I leave and transition and be fully born spirit, and I don't want to take that long. I'm gonna give myself a few years, right? But I want to be fully raw, completely in tune with not just the creator, but with nature around me. I want to live as long as I possibly can so I can get all the wisdom out of this life that I'm supposed to. But it's a struggle sometimes. It's a struggle sometimes. One thing I haven't been struggling with, though, is chocolate chip cookies. I told y'all about that the other day. But I got my cravings under control with a little bit of help from the IV clinic to make sure my body is hydrated appropriately. But that's amazing. But yeah. What if one spouse is plant-based and the other is eating meat? Well, my husband hasn't transitioned fully onto plant-based, and he still eats meat, but not as much, because I do try different dishes. You just gotta introduce them slowly to things. You can't force somebody to be something because you are. That's the quickest way. That's the quickest way to destroy your marriage, destroy any kind of friendship, right? Your spouse, you really don't, I could say you really ain't got no choice. You can't just up and leave. But some people do. They just up and leave. You won't put down the stakes, I'm out. I'm like, bruh, it ain't that serious. Because if you leave and you the only source of light, how he gonna live? He'll live. Y'all get what I'm saying, right? But who else better than to bring the light? Even if right now they're not listening, you just showcase it in your life, So if the other spouse hasn't completely transitioned, even if they never transition, I don't really see it as a cause of uproar in your household. Why would you do that, right? Especially if that's one of the only issues y'all have. That may not be the only issue, but to you it could be a big issue, but to them right now it's just not. Is that wrong? To you it would seem to be that way, but to them it's not a big deal, because they haven't, not to put them down and say they're any less spiritual than you, right? But they just haven't come to that place in life where they're really taking it into serious consideration, right? If they don't have anything majorly going on with their health, they probably feel like, why do I even need to look into this? I'm fine, especially if they work out all the time and they eat meat and they doing good. They don't see any cause to look into it, right now. But those more spiritual who understand it should understand that, right? And don't start creating problems just because they still like a hot dog every now and then. Although they sound like blasphemy to some people, but I've just learned, just looking through things and observing couples and people splitting unnecessary fights. Me and my husband got enough dumb fights. I'm just not gonna create fights with things that I can, like, I'm not the one that's eating it. I can set the example, and but y'all get it, right? I ain't gotta dig deep into that. But if they're still eating me, then you be the example. Cook some dishes, season it real good. Don't overly season it with salt, but use some spices and herbs that won't shoot your blood pressure and sugar and all this other stuff up. But try out some dishes and let them taste it. Try and incorporate a little bit more. And then, especially if it's a woman, well, I ain't gonna say that, because sometimes some men responsible for the cooking in the house. So whoever's responsible for the cooking, just try to incorporate a little bit more. Still give them a little bit of what they like, just like they was dropping down fish and fruit, right? Give them a little bit of what they like or whatever, and just try and show them the other side of life, right? And just put it there. Season it good and let them choose. Let them choose. Don't force them. Let them choose, right? Because I wouldn't want to be in a household where we're in an uproar about some things that really can be, though they can, I ain't gonna say overlook, but you can help to adjust those situations and grow those situations in wisdom. That's what I'm saying. My husband will still have flesh very rarely, but I don't provide it or cook it. Yeah, well, to each his own. Every household, every family dynamic is the same. Sometimes I will. Sometimes he'll get down here because he's like, "Don't worry about it, babe." Listen, let me tell you something. When I cook, I'm gonna just do it. Hold on. And at first, when I started doing it, I was being, I ain't gonna say condescending, but sometimes I'm trying to, what word I want to say? I'm trying to develop my unrefined spirit here. So he asked me to cook him something. So I bought some cooking gloves and I put them on all hard. Like, I ain't have to cook it, but I did, right? Because I've been cooking before I transitioned, right? So I started putting on the gloves, and when he'd be in the kitchen, I'd make noise with him and smack him so he could look over and see what I'm doing. And then I'd make faces at the meat. And he'd look at me out the side of his eye like it's not that serious. I'm like, yes, it is. I said, do you know you can't really cook all the blood out of flesh? He just looked. And yes, you can. I said, no, you can't. I said, when you buy trays of meat, don't you see it sometimes sitting in its own pool of blood? What you just think that's like red juice or something they poured on it? He said, I never thought about that. He said, just rinse it off real good and go ahead and throw it in the grease. And then my husband, when he eat chicken, he don't eat a lot of red meat anymore, right? So, but when he eat chicken, like chicken wings, you know how you got the drumette, the flat, and you got that little wing right there. He hates that little wing, but he don't like to buy wingdings. He buy the whole chicken wing, but he get in there and he take a knife and he cut it off. And so I was like, oh, you bringing a butcher house is bad enough. I already got to walk in here and see this slaughter. Look, listen, I'm telling you, personal experience. Just don't do this if your spouse is still eating meat. And so I'm just like, you know what, Pam, you ain't got to do all that. And sometimes I was like, listen, I can do it like I was doing before. I'll rinse it off, I'll season it up, but I can't touch it, right? It's dead flesh. I've taken the Nazarite vow. I cannot touch dead flesh, human or beast. I said, so I'm gonna wear gloves. And so he said, just cut that little wing off. I said, you're gonna have to do that. I'm gonna pass clean out because now you want me. I know it's, look, I'm using the words, any word that I can find to just let it hit him in a different type of way, deep down in his shanana, that this is an animal. I know it's already been slaughtered, but we're slaughtering it even more, right? I'll use words like, I feel like I'm a butcher. I said, and do you know your mama had chickens? Well, yeah, she would take it ring the neck. I said, you sit there and watch. She taught me how to do it. I'm like, well, I didn't grow up like that. I said, I cannot cut the wing in it. Like, seriously, I'm not exaggerating, y'all. And I know sometimes I do the most, right? But I've never been able to take the knife and cut the wing off the chicken leg without almost passing out. And that was even when I was still eating meat, because even when I was still eating meat, I would just think about the chicken. And I'm just like, something's got to be wrong about this. And so anytime he wants chicken, he get those, he already know she gonna act a plum fool. I'm gonna just go in there and cut it off. So he'll come in there and cut it off. And if he come in here and start cutting it off, he'll just go ahead and rinse them all, season them up. Most of the time he'll throw them in the grease, but he's like, all right, I prepped everything for you. All you got to do is put on your black gloves and drop it in the grease and watch it, make sure it don't burn. I'm like, all right, Mr. Murphy. And he said, quit calling me Mr. Murphy. So what would you like me to call you? Call me. You want me to call you James? No, don't call me by my name. What is your name, everybody else? Call me babe. Call me the names that you be calling me all the time. Don't call me by my name in this house. I'm like, you are doing the most. You're just as bad as me. But anyway, but most of the time he will cook his own meat, right? I'm like, so I can do something plant-based, or would you like to eat an animal tonight? And they kind of piss him off. And it's like, look. And so I didn't really like the energy that transpired in my house after those sessions. So I figured I'd just chill out a little bit, right? I can kind of keep them comments to myself as he's transitioning and he, kind of make good choices, right? So if they you just figure out what works for your family dynamic, right? Just figure out what works for your family dynamic. But look, I got the black gloves to tell y'all that he's growing. He's not eating as much red meat. And what did he do the other day? Oh, okay. So coming from Illinois, when they eat spaghetti, they always eat catfish with it. He can't stand catfish anymore. Looking into it, it's almost like bottom feeder. They are bottom feeders like shrimp. So he looking more into it and it's turning his stomach. He said, I'm not getting no more catfish ever. Look, because he's transitioning, he tried to eat more pescatarian, just transitioning, but he's even cut out catfish. He said, I can't do it. I can't bring myself to eat it anymore. And I just smile inwardly. I'm like, okay, babe. And now instead of grabbing the flesh with his bare hands, when he come in the kitchen now, he's, hey, you need to order some more gloves. We almost out. I come in the kitchen, smiling inwardly. He putting on gloves. He just like, ugh. His sister called him on the phone. I'm like, if you got to and do all that while you clean your meat, why are you ingesting? He said, at this point, I really don't know. He said, but I don't know. I think it's a mind thing. I feel like I'm supposed to because it's the way it's always been. I feel like I'm gonna miss something, but I know I'm not. But it is what it is right now. I'm like, okay. And I just smile inwardly because there's a transition happening, maybe slower than what I would like to see, but nevertheless, something's happening, right? And it's probably happening more because I've decided not to be overly too much. When he say he hungry or he would like something to eat, I just do it with love. Like, in all that you do it with love, right? And I found that to be the best mode of operation when dealing with differences in our marriage and in our household. If I can learn how to control my unrefined spirit, I won't send his unrefined spirit over the edge, and we'll still have a house by the end of the day, right? Because we beat them both, burnt it up, tore it down with our own hands, just because we're trying to get back at one another over something dumb, right? It don't even take all that. It's not even that serious. So my outlook on a lot of things has changed a lot over the last year. And when it comes to spiritual things, live and let live. People have to choose on their own, right? And you ain't got to tell nobody they're wrong, right? People know when they're wrong. You don't have to rub it in. You don't have to keep pointing the finger. That's just my take from my personal experience. Jamil said, my point is there are high-raised angels they should question that. You have the power to drop fish, and then you have the power to drop other edibles too. Why not choose the Creator's way? Because the Creator is not intent on forcing anybody to do anything. That's just the way I believe right now. He didn't force me when I was doing it. Whatever I was doing that was willy-nilly had me off in my life. Creator was like, all right, homie, I'm gonna let you see that to the end. It's the same way. Those are just my thoughts. He'll let you see it all the way to the end. And when you get to the end of your way, then it's like, well, maybe I'll consider what you said to me. Well, yeah, it might not be so bad. You should try it. Just let me know how it work out. I'm here if you got questions. That's how the Creator is with us, right? So remember what happened when the quill, Remember what happened when the quill was dropped from the sky? It didn't help the people. Now, very good point, Jamil. Now that we know who dropped the quill, right? Was it the Creator? Because we're talking about the Bible, right? We're talking about Moses in the wilderness. Who were the children of Israel following? Were they not following a false god, thinking it was the Creator, right? Slaughtered the babies, women, and everything that pisseth up against the wall. I'm just saying, right? Now that we know that's a good example, though. When he killed everybody that bit into the flesh, that wasn't the Creator. It was one of the false gods that was leading Israel astray. Well, hold on. There was a mix of voices. Yeah, I would still say, I'm gonna go back and read the story again. It's in Exodus. I would still say I would still say that's the false god, because he was pissed. They wanted to go back to Egypt, and he was like, he was intent on making them follow his way and do exactly what he said the way he said it, when the Creator gives us free choice, free will to choose. Like, they didn't have a choice. They had a choice, right? They eat the meat, and everybody that bit into the meat was dead by the morning. But how many of us have eaten meat and we've woken up many mornings, some on with the flesh still in between your teeth, because you ain't brush your teeth or nothing, right? Creator didn't take us out. So I think I just, looking at certain things now, reading some of the stories, it's just me. Nazarite and St. Faith, you have to have patience with them and continue your faithfulness while they learn. It's all about choice. I agree 100% with just me. You are considered raw if you eat at least 80%. Right. Yep. I know. So that's why I say I want to get to at least 80%. I want to be 100%, but at least 80, because sometimes my body just craves something warm. But even with my Vitamix, so I don't have to cook it and cook all the enzymes and nutrients out of it. I can use my Vitamix and heat things up. It just blends just a little bit longer. Say if I want like a soup or something like that, I put it in the Vitamix. And I made an asparagus soup. I never had asparagus soup before in my life till I made it in my Vitamix, and I just kind of followed the direction to add my little seasons. It's the best soup ever. Have y'all tried it? If you like asparagus, you should try asparagus soup. I don't even remember the recipe. I think I got it in my notes. If I find it in my notes, I'll share it with y'all, but it was the best thing ever. It was so good that my children loved it. Now, when you can get children to eat asparagus and asparagus soup that's green, you know it's good, right? Kids ain't gonna lie to you. Jamil, remember when Sathanti's angels tried to feed the spirits never ate, so meat was the only thing they accepted, right? They just gotta grow and develop, The spouse that continues to eat flesh will not understand you as you grow, because their spirit cannot receive messages coming from ego. I agree with that too, right? Because and you can just test that principle. People who even do like 30, still got these gloves on. People who do like 30-day challenges of just fruit or 30-day vegan challenge or whatever, when they cut out the meat, or just they eat everything else but cut out the meat, they tell you they have some type of spiritual experience where even they may not have the best spiritual experience, but their spiritual eyes are awakened in some way, right? Because you can't have those things if you're a cannibal. If you're consuming sentient beings and flesh, you're literally covering your spirit in blood. You might as well just say it. You're covering your spirit in blood and drowning out the voice of the Creator. Question: did Joshua really feed the people with fish? He probably did, right? If that's all what they ate, he probably did. I would say so. May not, but we getting secondhand through the book. We weren't really there, right? We can guesstimate, but you're welcome. I guess that their matters are with their Creator. It is really, when it comes down to it. I still cook fish and meat for my 2 children, but they do the hold on. I stopped. I stopped or still something. STT. I cook fish and meat for my 2 children, but they do the tasting of it. My husband eats fish now and then. I allow my husband to make his own decisions. And I don't try to change his mind with words or actions. Yeah, I stopped doing that too, right? Because it's create unnecessary strife in the house. So yeah, I can say me too, Jamil. Now I can say me too. BC laughing, my mama laughing. Remember, hold on, y'all. Remember, the Creator had patience with us until we stopped. So we must do as our Father, the Creator, does. We should do as our Father, the Creator, does. We should do. Pray they stop before the body fails. That's good. Pray they stop before the body fails. And sometimes, y'all forbid that anybody y'all love just keep going till their body fails. But sometimes when it gets to the point where the body fails, sometimes for some people it's too late and they can't recover, right? They've destroyed everything in their body that would help them to recover. Now, in some cases, they haven't gone that far and the body completely recovers from cancers, leukemias, a lot of things, because most diseases that happen to the body, 99% of diseases that happen to the body happen because of what you put in your mouth, right? Everything else, outside, other things, foreign, accidents, traumas, other stuff, right? But 99%, if we control the 99%, if we control the 99%, do you realize that 99% can heal the 1% if it happens to you, unless it completely takes you out of here? Dr. Lauren Lockman, I showed his channel to you a while ago. He broke his arm. He went on nothing but a water fast, and his broken arm healed tremendously fast, where the doctor was amazed. And not only had he broken his arm, I think he broke his leg too. Same thing. Water fast. Those stories are not uncommon, because what happens is the body is smart, right? So if something is going on with your body, if you're constantly using all your energy to break down food, that's what the body does. It's like your body triages things that happen to you. But if there's no food in your gut to digest and assimilate throughout your body, if there's trauma, the body goes where the trauma is and it begins assessing that and fixing all that, which is why the body heals itself when there's something wrong with it. When you change the way you eat, or you stop for a period of time, you fast. Even the animals, when they get sick, what do? They fast. They stop eating so their gut can rest and the body can redivert its energy to the place where it really needs it and heals that, right? I can work with that, just me, right? False God and true God did the same thing. So, but now that we understand a little bit more, false God did it because you're going to follow me and I said so. True God did it because they understood a higher principle, right? Okay, they still living. We're going to transition them, but for now, this is all that they can receive, right? Think about babies. When babies get a little bit older, their bodies are not designed to stay on milk forever, but only for a period of time, right? And eventually, for them to continue growing and developing, they're going to need to have solid meats, right? You can call fruit from meat, or the meat or fruit or whatever, not flesh, right? They're going to eventually need solid meats, which is why the teeth develop. When the teeth begin developing, it's time for the body to keep it continually growing to develop. It's going to need this. So now introduce them to solid foods. It's the same way with the spirit, right? And transition it. It's nothing different from detoxing somebody from drugs or alcohol when they, like if they check in, well, it depends. You got different methods, right? They wean people off of alcohol by giving them less doses of alcohol, controlled alcohol. In some places, some places they make them go cold turkey, but medically that might be dangerous for alcoholic to go cold turkey because you could cause kidney failure, liver failure, right? So they do other things with them, and then they adjust the amounts of alcohol that they ingest while the liver is healing, right? So their intake, if they're used to drinking 10 6-packs a day, let's downgrade it to 9. Even though they won't get 9 in there, they probably won't get past 6 beers if they check in, but they're still giving them something because that's what the liver and kidneys have been used to, according to medical, right? This is what they do. But on the holistic side of things, they may not give them alcohol because it's not actually the alcohol that they're craving. They're addicted to sugar, right? It's the sugar in the alcohol that alcoholics are addicted to. Just like somebody addicted to food, it's the sugar, right? So if you overeat and you're an alcoholic, you're pretty much addicted to the same thing. But true God understands from a higher principle, and we're going to wean them off until they're completely healed. False God is like, do as thou wilt, you're going to do it, right? With no explanation whatsoever. So it seemed like they did the same thing, but in higher understanding, they were doing something a little bit different. Yeah, they dropped the flesh because they were still eating flesh. If they, I don't know, but y'all get it, right? True God rained down manna. False God brought quail, right? So there's a mix of stuff there, right? Even throughout the Levitical priesthood, you can see the mixing. If you've been reading it long enough, you can see, especially in a good example is the Nazarite vow. Numbers chapter 6, you can see true God and false God. If you've been reading long enough and you know what you're looking for, you can see the false mixed in with the truth, and you have to be able to separate it, because at a certain point, you will see, like, they'll tell you to break it and slaughter an animal and stuff. You absolutely don't have to do that. You can see it with the feast days. You can go through and you can remove all of the sacrifices for the feast days, even if it's just doing it. We're not really slaughtering animals, but we acting like, no, you don't even act like it when it comes to the Creator. Remove everything that has to do with sacrificing an animal, giving a sacrifice, laying it on the altar. Remove all of those things, and you will see it's completely plant-based things, what causes the body to thrive. And when you remove all that, the mind can develop in a holistic, natural way as well, without getting all chopped and screwed up with things. So, yeah, that's what I've come to find out in my studies and going through the Bible and picking it apart after faithfully following it for so long. I've come to find that good and evil entities do some of the same things, and the reasons are different. Absolutely. Remember, some of Moses' story is written by Egyptians, so the quail story may not be Moses doing, right? As the leaven in with the wheat, right? Is that right? Hold on. The wheat and the weeds. Y'all get what I'm saying? Truth and error mixed in together. That's what it's about, really. It was bread and grapes in the Nazarene scroll. See? Right. And that's something that when I took the Nazarite vow, I'm like, something is wrong. Why can't I even eat the fruit? I'm not eating it fermented, but it says stay away from all grapes, juicy or dry, anything that grow from the vine, right? Fermented, unfermented. But as I went more plant-based and started eating more fruits and studying grapes and realizing the power of the healing in it, and looking at different healing testimonies of people who got healed, and the spiritual activity that heightens when you're eating grapes, I'm wondering if they tried to dumb down the vow by taking even a thing that would increase them spiritually by saying just removing all the grapes, right? Yeah, don't touch dead animals, but don't eat grapes either, right? So now you nullify your vow the same time you take it, because you're not even eating things that's not just going to fuel and heal and nourish your body and also your spirit. But I think those like me, right? Because I followed it to the T, didn't touch grapes. And now I'm just like, something's wrong with this. Let's adjust this. Now I know that the Creator ain't going to strike me dead for breaking my vow, eating grapes. I began to test it. I'm just like, So I'm thinking the original Nazarite vow was to consume grapes in their natural state and eat as many as you possibly can. Not gorge yourself, but you get what I'm saying, right? Because not only do they heal the body, they do something to the spirit, and it heightens your spiritual senses. So my Nazarite vow today looks a whole lot different than it did a few months ago and last year, a couple years ago when I took it, right? I consume grapes now. I don't eat them in their fermented state. I don't do alcohol, meat, none of that stuff, but there is a difference. So I'm thinking the original vow, you actually were to consume grapes, and a lot of them, right? It's just growing. Some people may not agree with me, but I'm just saying. So covering yourself in the blood of Jesus is an issue. Yes. Blasphemy, somebody screams. The more we grow, the more we know, right? So yes, I would say that's complete. I would say that's blasphemy against the Creator, right? I know my mama knows, she just said it. Some people, Christian, if you hear, I lost a person, may have been a Christian. They don't stay long enough to see why, but they don't care to hear it out. If there's anything that sounds like blasphemy against the Creator, oh no, I'm in the wrong place. You going to hell? Ask us questions, right? What is manna? Asking just me. I still cook meat for my children. Manna is angel's bread. Thanks. Just wanted to know what you thought manna was. Tabitha, how old are your children? Thanks for sharing. 27 and 29. They lazy. They too lazy to cook, Jamil. Tabitha. Jeremiah. My 21-year-old walked in here. If I don't cook something, he hungry. He's become quite a good chef, right? He come down here. He can almost cook better than me. Pull out all his ingredients and all of this stuff. Look, there go his alfalfa sprouts.
You don't want to know the easy way? Get a cookbook.
Yeah, that's why I tell you better open up Pinterest or something. I'm like, boy, ain't nothing wrong with your hands. If I cook and you get here in time enough and everybody ain't ate everything, then good and well. The only person's plate I'm putting up if they not here is my husband's, your father. Everybody else, every man for himself. Y'all can fix your own plates. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Wheat and tares. I said, what I say? I said wheat and leaven. That's what I was looking for. Wheat and tares. Thank you. Oh my gosh, y'all. Hold on. I'm going through everybody comment. Mine are 4 and 6. It is different, right? You got whole grown adults, Tabitha, like kick them in the butt. We kick our furniture. You better get your butt. Go get your own place, matter of fact. But no, I'm sorry. Your family dynamic is your family dynamic. Before I go, the animals may lose the battle, but they will win the war if we keep killing them. I don't disagree with that at all.
Non-bread.
Huh?
Non-bread.
Non-bread.
For some reason, everybody's talking about, starting to get supplies to stock up.
Everybody always talking about getting supplies.
No, it's not that part. It's just the part that we're still getting closer to that war. That's not stopping. It's just getting worse and worse.
Prepare as you can. Prepare as you may, right? Grow food, all that.
I'm going to say this.
Things happen, right?
I'm going to say this. Stock up. If there's a FEMA camp, don't go to it. Because when World War III happens, there's something that's called martial law. Best believe that's going to get enforced. I'm not talking, oh, he's young, da-da-da-da-da. If you don't believe me, watch. Not trying to scare nobody, but, don't just throw knowledge to the wolves. Or they might just catch a sin.
I ain't rolling my eyes. We do prepare sometime, but we don't go crazy like I'm saying. It's always wars and rumors of wars, right? Let me tell you, I don't like to be in that mindset. Look at it. Turning my light.
This is so scary.
Yeah, don't scare people. Not that you shouldn't keep your head on the swivel and pay attention to what's going on, because right? Prepare as you need to. Okay, young ones, Jamil, beautiful. My wife is the one who eats meat. Thanks for helping me understand better, family lamb. Yeah, give us some time. Even if she's still eating it for years. Hopefully, Everybody has their own personal walk. You don't want to force somebody into doing something and they think they're just doing it for you, right? And neither should you want somebody to do something just because I'm living this way, you're going to live this way too. Because now they become wrapped up in you. They can't be their individual person. Their creativity becomes stifled. It's a lot of things. They feel like they're in bondage. It creates marital problems. And I just don't like to deal that way, which is why we just made 23 years, right? Our marriage ain't perfect, but things that are unnecessary, we're not doing it. I'm sorry, right? This is hard enough trying to keep it together this long. But all this other stuff and listen to other people. Well, I told my wife, I told my husband this and this. Y'all, it's, oh my gosh. Listen, you know what? I ain't putting nobody business out here, but y'all listen.
Stop with the
I was about to give y'all a story, but I don't know. It's somebody's relationship. I'm just not. We learn from other people, right? Yeah. The way the spouses talk to one another, the wife talk to the husband talk to the wife, and we look at it, we assess it. What would happen if that went down here? Like, first of all, I wish a ninja would. We just gonna say that. And my husband know that, he could only go so far with me. And we ain't doing none of that because I'm one of the ones who will fight you back. I'm just not. I'm not gonna sit back and I'm not gonna cower down, even though I'm learning how to be more womanly and use love and respond to things and not be like bang bang shoot 'em up. I wish a ninja would. I'm just, adjusting my life for the better. I want to live long. I want our family to live long together, right? So we learning some things, and your family dynamic is different from everybody else. What works for you may not work for somebody else, and don't try to apply what works for somebody else to your household because you will probably tear it apart, right? So learn your dynamic, learn your spouse first and foremost, right? And y'all learn how to work together as a team.
If you want to do something like that, ease it into our diet. Nothing happens fast. Don't do cold turkey. Ease it into.
Oh, he's talking about if you're a woman, because Jeremiah plant-based again. He said, and Jeremiah, how old are you, Jeremiah? 20. Has a new girl. Well, not a new girlfriend. She's been around for a while now. He said,
this one has common sense. That's the difference.
He said, don't try and force her. Ease it into her diet, plant-based. He got her going to the gym, working out with him now. I'm like, listen, she got a problem with you going to the gym, ask her to join you. Now, if she don't want to join you, then you might have some issues there. Maybe she don't take care of herself like you take care of yourself. Me, look at the pot calling the kettle black, and I'm still trying to get my gym habits under control, right? But I'm just saying, there's things to look out for early, right? If she complaining about you spending too much time at the gym, ask her to join you. And I say, and if she don't join you, then you gotta look at her motive, see what's really going on in her head when it comes to you. But what she do, she join them. They working out together, right? And so he working with her. She working with him. Whatever. It's young love. It's beautiful to watch, right? So, y'all, we passed our time. I just had a little bit of time this morning, but I do have a 10 o'clock appointment that I have to get my churn to. All right, son, I love you. And we ain't gonna read no more of this. We passed our time. Oh my God, it's 7:52. Y'all just as bad as me. Y'all ain't got nowhere to go this morning, or everybody already at work. I didn't realize it was almost at 8 o'clock. Oh my G, y'all, let's go. Hold up. I got lost in all the comments, y'all. I really appreciate it. Oh no. All right, hold on. We paused that. Co-creator. That was good too. The co-creator. You know what? I think we'll just start it. We'll start it tomorrow, verse 29, with Magdalena's question. Let's see. So 1 through 28. I put verse 29. Start with verse 29. 6:01. Okay. Yeah, we'll start it. Verse 29. I heard Jeremiah's comment. He's right about stockpiling, because where do hungry people go to get food? It's a place that has the food creator told us to flee, and he will provide. I agree. And people that, I sometimes look at people who stockpiling food or whatever and showing it all on social media and on YouTube. some people, they not giving their exact location. But if they find out what state and city you in, bro, somebody gonna find you in an emergency because somebody in your city know who you are. And people get right creative. And they're gonna find your stockpile, right? So I say prepare how you need to. And if you're gonna flee the city, that's why you should practice growing stuff in the city before you flee. I mean, I got to check my seed stash too, because I think I may not have them. I don't know. I may not have my seeds stored properly. I got a whole slew case of seeds that I keep in, like in alphabetical order, whatever. Keep seeds or whatever. If you gotta flee, prepare for the worst, hope for the best, right? But don't be going crazy, like spending your last dime stocking up on stuff, and I don't know, just use wisdom, right? And don't do it out of fear. Right? Understand that the Creator will take care of you when you use your common sense, right? Because don't fall in like that same mindset, okay, Jesus come save me, and like you ain't doing anything. Like you actually have to prepare and do stuff yourself. But I'm just saying, use wisdom, keep your head on a swivel, pay attention. I just took them all. That comment came in late. You still wearing the black gloves. But I had to show some type of, visual. We got to get out of here, y'all. It is Tuesday, October the 17th, day 115 of year 5 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 5-year consecutive day count, it is day 1495. We read chapter 32 in the book of Ragged Patty, which is pages 219 to 221. And we read the first 28 verses of chapter 46 in the Holy Megillah, also called the Secret Nazarite Scroll, right? Those pages 601 to 602. 601 to 602. And with that being said, Father, we thank you that under your watch, we gracefully unfold. Yeah. All right, beautiful people. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6:15-ish Eastern Standard Time. Love y'all. Bruce.
But I see through you.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood, evolution in my veins. I'm gold, I've been far away. I'm illuminated now, making moves.
What did you just do to me?
I pushed your astral form out of your physical form.
What's in that tea? Psilocybin? LSD?
It's just tea. With a little honey.
What just happened?
For a moment, you entered the astral dimension.
What?
A place where the soul exists apart from the body.
Why are you doing this to me?
To show you just how much you don't know. Open your eyes.
Been dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they won't go sign.
What's happening? This isn't real, this isn't real, this isn't real, this is...
Dreaming about dying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they won't go sign.
His heart rate is getting dangerously high.
He looks all right to me. You think that this universe is all there is?
I don't need gravity, I need
What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses? Existence, mind and matter meet. Thoughts shape reality.
I don't need gravity, I just need growth. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float.
Some benevolent and life-giving, filled with malice and hunger. Dark places where powers older than time and waiting.
I don't swim or sink, I just float.
vast multiverse.
I don't need gravity, I just need gravity, I just need growth.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
I don't need gravity, I just need growth.
Teach me.
No.
It's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
But I see through